Alright, so we got Ombrarch versus Cakevonmoisseur. This is GSC Invitational round 3, I think, but it's like play-ins, and I'm drunk. So Ombrarch and Cakevonmoisseur. We got on the bottom the Zap lead, which sort of switch to lax prompted in the Scarm as Scarm goes for a whirlwind. The Steelix is going to be slower, but he can kind of do whatever he wants. Going to bring in the Zap as Scarm is going to try and scout for more info. Meantime, Cake is rocking a really cool avatar with a Bayleaf suited in armor, clad in armor. And we got a Starmie versus Eggy. Starmie, if it has sub, walls Eggy. Otherwise, it's a bit of a problem. And Eggy puts the Raikou to sleep, but that doesn't necessarily mean it wants to switch out. Raikou can stay in on Eggy. It's a bit of a 50-50-ish situation. Raikou out damages the Eggy, but the Eggy can use Giga Drain to get health back. In this case, Ombrarch wanted to deal one bit of chip damage so the Raikou could use Sleep Talk and maybe rest back, and then bring in the Snorlax, which is a good sequence in my opinion, because one way or the other, the Snorlax prompts the Raikou out and it has some turns of sleep to burn. Skarmory comes in on the Lax, whirlwinds it out. Vaporeon actually is going to be able to 3-hit it, KO the Skarm. Nonetheless, Cake decides to phase out again, and now the whole team of Ombrarch is revealed, and it is a Borat team. So, Eggy, Lax, Zap, Lix, Vap, and Cloyster. So, yeah, there you go. Lax in on the coup. Raikou manages to, I believe, use rest, and so it is healthy. Or maybe it was called upon by Sleep Talk, actually. So, yeah. Nonetheless, that means the Eggy will be able to put something to sleep later. The Skarmory is very low, but it will be able to use rest here unless Cake wants to go for a whirlwind. I don't think so. Ombrarch, is he going to be packing some sort of tech? Doesn't look like it. He's going to go for the damage. Is he going to go to Zap here or Cloy? Probably wants to get those spikes up. Yes, there is a spinner, but he should be able to have one turn advantage and maybe Toxic. Instead, Cake decides to go to Raikou and then Foray. Maybe it's a double spin team. If that is the case, then it does look like, at least for now, that Cake is in an advantage. It's too soon to say. There's not a significant enough amount of damage to say that it's like a divide or that Ombrarch can't make it back. It's what, 30% on the Skarm, and that's it. Steelix versus Raikou. Steelix can start a sequence now and either boom on the Starmie, which I don't think this team wants, or start roaring. He goes for a curse. Not sure if I agree. Gonna let the Starmie rest. If a crit happens, it's a KO. Otherwise, no. That doesn't happen. The Starmie gets the spin. It will survive the Steelix, a surf, but nonetheless, this is a nice situation for Ombrarch. He can try and get some damage off. He's going to bring in the Eggy. We know, or at least we can assume, Starmie doesn't have sub because it switched out the first time from Eggy. So he goes to Skarm. Is this Eggy HP Fire? We don't think so. We believe it is Giga Drain. We are talking in the first person plural for some reason. Zap comes in, and Raikou is doing what dogs do best, being a good boy, not using too much of any of its moves, just doing exactly what it's being asked to do. Snorlax is a big scary bear gonna curse up here, and spikes for sure. A bit scary because a double 2 times attack hitting a sleeping Skarm can really hurt, but the Skarmory is going to wake up the next turn, so even a crit, it would probably survive. Yeah, yes, it most definitely would, and so we're fine. But Vaporeon comes in, meaning the Skarm isn't quite free to use rest, and Raikou comes in, Snorlax, so the cycle repeats itself. so on and so forth. Hopefully this game is not going to be lasting 100 turns. I would, let's say in an ideal world where Ombrarch does manage to maintain his pace, then he wins because of the Vaporeon versus this kind of team. But it depends on how he plays it out and how Cake plans ahead of things. If he makes an execution mistake, then Ombrarch is in the advantage. If Ombrarch makes an execution mistake, then he is in a disadvantage. So Chloe is he can bait the spikes and go for a toxic, which is why Cake goes to 40. I, at this point, believe it's double spin. He's probably going to go for a toxic himself. He does, but it misses. He doesn't want to stay in here and take unnecessary damage, so he's going to switch out. I'm so fucking smart. Jesus fucking Christ. Steelix comes in, and there's the Starmie. So Aggie's going to come in. No one is overshooting here, and this is very timid for a game, but I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. I like talking to someone who's a little timid every once in a while, you know, just sweet talk them a little bit. Zap, Zlix, Raikou, Rest. I don't even know if people right now are sleeping in this house that is not mine. Starmie, Skarm, 40. Roar Shenanigans. Okay, the double. Nice double. I like it. I don't know. I don't really know about Cake's double there to the 40 there earlier, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay, so T-Tar. Okay, so yeah, damage. No Fire Blast. This is looking like the Zokaru team through and through. There's no Fire Blast on this Tar. He goes for damage, which I think kind of blows, but he was aiming for the zap, so, you know, right, double spin is pretty sturdy, but in the long run, I feel like if he keeps taking damage like this, Vaporeon just wins. I mean, by just wins, I don't necessarily mean that the Vaporeon is winning. There are so many variables in the game that it's so, you know, it's easy to say that, oh, Vaporeon wins, but, like, at the end of the day, it could be fucking Cloyster winning. Who knows? Cloyster, yeah, he took some damage here. Is he going to go for the Toxic? No, he goes for Spikes, but he can Toxic here, which would be very nice for Ombrarch. It's not really vital, but I would go for it. Oh, no. We've seen 2 Toxic predicts, and they both missed. This one isn't quite as predict heavy. It was more of a I give you something, you give me something in return kind of move. But yeah, no, it didn't pay off. So Snorlax gonna have to go for that pressure, and unfortunately the Cloy is poisoned, so it's gonna be taking 25% each time it comes in, and that's gonna suck. So, you know, Cloy, there you go, C63, and then we take away another 25, then another, and then another, and then another, and so at a certain point it's just gonna be dead. So 69 plus 6, that's 75. That means actually total of 3 turns, 25% damage. But what's going to happen here is Chloe going to go for the Surf or the Psychic. He goes for a Boom. I don't know if I agree. One of the issues I have with this style of play is that there's not enough happening on the physical side of things. So since there isn't enough pressure on the Skarmory, you only have pressure on one side, and it becomes a lot easier for the stall team to answer. Let me make an example, because, you know, we're just seeing turns over and over again. I might as well explain what's my thought process of how I would play into this. The point is, I want to keep playing in a very conservative way, hitting the Skarmory until maybe it's not even at the first rest. Maybe it's the third, second, fourth rest that there's like this small window of opportunity, and then I boom the Cloyster, and the Starmie's Toxic and all that stuff, and then the Eggy breaks through or something, and then I can use Vaporeon. Like it's not. It's very nuanced. It's very, um, you know. Like I guess I could boom here, but that doesn't achieve anything for this team. This isn't a Machamp team, so booming on Starmie here is useless. I would use Eggy differently. I would use it more aggressively. I would stay in. I would Giga Drain. I'd Psychic. Try to Spadef drop the Scarm. That kind of stuff. It's hard. It's hard. But if I had to guess what other move this Starmie has, it would probably be Psychic, because he didn't go for T-Wave and he didn't go for Sub, so... Which is why he switches out of the Eggy rather than staying in. Any other set and he would stay in, but he switches out. And there's the Spadef drop, so yeah. But he's going to wake up, so Psychic is still going to do a nice bit of damage, but you got to be careful with how much you're dealing. Okay, no mix-up from Ombrarch so far. This is kind of disappointing. Not because he's like bad or anything. I'm just saying, like, I would expect at least once in a while a couple of mix-ups. Maybe not on that specific turn. There's the Giga Drain. Okay, fair enough. But I don't know. Like, from this play, is there a specific goal that Ombrarch has in mind? I am not sure. I once used to believe that Psychic Giga Drain Eggy was shit versus Stall, and it's definitely one of the worst sets versus Stall. But it's not unplayable. It really... See, this is the kind of play I'd be expecting. So that's pretty cool. All right. He's got like one shot. He can probably... Me, I'd go to Zapdos or Vaporeon. Okay. That I don't know. I think that wouldn't even have killed, to be honest. How much did that do to T-Tar? 44, yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, at this point, if Vaporeon wins, it's just because Vaporeon is Vaporeon. In other words, it lucks out, but, or it lucks in? I'm drunk. I'm very drunk. I'm still retired, by the way. Boom on Starmie, that is monumental if this were a Marowak team. It's not monumental on this team. In fact, might I remind you that Cakevonmoisseur has yet to reveal his Snorlax, and now Ombrarch does not have a normal resist. So, this is looking like it's going to play in one of two ways. Vaporeon manages to avalanche to a point of no return, or gets lucky crit and all that kind of good stuff, or I don't know, dodges a lot of thunders, or it just gets KO'd. We don't even know if the Fori is spin. Oh, we do. We don't even... Nothing. Fuck it. Shut up. Scarm. Curse. Today's a good day for me, guys. Today's a good day. One more surf. Crit that bitch.